Welcome to PhD with Women on It, Hack the Future. My name is Beata Young, and today's PhD Positivity Hack delivered will be by our guest, Aleksandra Kunysz. Today's topic is how to achieve high-quality software. Episode PhD, episode 38 starts here. Let me remind you, this is a grassroots community that focuses on the Women on It, an inclusive forum of women in technology, startups, and female leaders who are supported by men as well. And I bring heart to that hustle because empathy is my mojo. And empathy is critical when you are achieving high-quality software. In today's episode, we are going to learn from Ola, who has spent years creating software, being experienced in full-stack programming, testing, requirements gathering, and also conducting training. Ola has worked in corporations, startups, and pro bonos in various industries and countries. Having been an advocate for quality among programmers, Ola enjoys solving problems and writing meaningful codes. The Women on IT community always stands in support of women excelling in technology and promoting gender diversity in the tech industry. That's why we are happy, and I am delighted to have Ola in today's show, because we met all these years back when we were leaders of local community of women in tech in Poland. I was in Toruń. She was leading the change of women in technology in Wrocław. And look where we are now. We are global leaders. Ola's working on some global startups somewhere in the middle of the US. Ola, where in the world are you today?
Hello, good evening. Thank you for the invitation. So currently I'm in Wrocław in Poland. Here I conducted Giga Scarlet's meetings years ago, and right now I work for startup in US in Chicago. But also I lead my own business, conducting trainings and online courses.
And also, we are, for this special outcome of this year, you produced a beautiful book called, in Polish.
It's Kierunek Jakość, which means destination quality. I can translate it to that. Yeah, it's about software quality from the perspective of programmer. Because I'm mostly a software engineer, so it's mostly about programming. But I believe that everything in this book is very universal, and I got feedback from people who are in industry for years and people who just started working in IT, and they can all relate. So the knowledge here is very universal. It's not only my experience, but it's also experience gathered from many people that I met during this almost 15 years in IT. I also had some in serious interviews with specialists. So I gathered it all and published a book.
Ola, I'm so glad about your success. It's been number one or number top 10 of books in technology. Tell me, how did you get there? I mean, from being a humble woman in tech leader in Poland, now you're going into books, you created your own brand, and I just wonder, how can somebody achieve quality and such a great book?
So basically, one step at a time. So I didn't think about publishing a book. I mean, maybe one day, everyone has it on the bucket list. But I just produced lots of content because I like sharing knowledge, and blogging was one of my form of like doing that. So I published posts on my blog about software quality, and it was not like amazing blog or anything. I didn't get like very broad audience or anything, but I consequently did that. And one day publishing house came to me actually and invited me to publish the book, and I said why not. But I think the reason it made it to the top, because actually it was on the number one of this publishing house bestsellers, and it's still somewhere on the list. I think there are two reasons. One reason is that it's we are lacking in the industry this perspective. So the quality usually comes from the QAs, quality assurance people, from testers, and not really from programmers. So that was something new that people like were curious about. And number two is the community, because I shared my knowledge. I conducted lots of trainings, pro bono trainings, and I were at many conferences, both on stage and as a attendee. So I had a huge community online and offline, and probably that's the reason people just were so happy and excited about my book that they just, not only bought it, but also helped me promote it. And I think that's the reason. So it was like one step at a time. It was not like magic bullet, and there is no one recipe. It's just the hard work you do every day.
Content every day is king. Ola, I remember you were posting on LinkedIn how excited you were when it went to top 5 and then top 3.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize it's already top 1. So well done, kudos to you. I was wondering, so imagine a company or a small team of people decide to build a software. How do they do it? I mean, what's the plan? How do you structure that plan?
There are no like universal ways of doing that right. The first thing that it's like the key of everything is communication. It's actually the soft skill, because technologies, languages, frameworks, libraries, and all this the like background noise. I like to call it like the background technical detail. Oh, this is the perfect phrase for that. That comes next, because first we need to know what we are going to create, who's going to use it, how they are going to use it, etc. And to know that, it's not always obvious, because especially with startups, you don't have any clients yet. And even if you build something similar, so you build Uber for, or you build Netflix for, so you base on something else, but you create your own group, your own community. This community will have different needs, and probably your solution will be a little bit different. So it starts with the communication, with the right morale in the team, I can say, because if we work hard, and that's the case usually with small businesses at the beginning, you need the motivation, and you need to like know the goal, what you are working for. So if there is lack of communication, or the communication is poor, or we cannot agree in the team, people will start leaving the company or get frustrated, and the morale goes down. And with like low morale, you cannot work out anything meaningful or something which is good quality. So it comes from people, from the communication between people.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Ola, for reminding me that we need you. I mean, you who is watching us, you can chip in, you can communicate with us, your worries, your questions, whatever you would like to talk about tonight, because this is an inclusive community of women in technology, startups, entrepreneurs. Wherever in the world you are today, Ola will be happy to answer your questions and communicate with you. So going back to the structuring of the software, that's one thing, communication, how to find your clients, who is going to be aimed at. What about the quality, the big Q today, which is the quality? Why is it important for companies to make a perfect product?
First thing, you need to know what it means to be perfect. I mean to have perfect product, because for everyone it will mean a little bit something a little bit different. Because if you are, for example, in the finance industry, probably the security and safety is higher than usability, even though the usability is very important. But if you are on the like game development or something more related to pleasure or free time, the usability is everything. Because if your app is hard to use, then people will just ignore it or leave it, or even leave the bad comments or reviews online. So quality means something different depending on what you're creating. And the first step before even defining your standards or your KPIs is to know your customer, know their needs, and know what the quality means actually for them. Because without that, you can have the best code, you can have tests for that code, you can do everything right. I mean, there is lots of things in the software engineering process. So you have lots of meetings, you have the demo, you have the requirements gathering, you have testing phase, you have software engineering, then you have some acceptance test when you show something to the client. And it might happen that at the end of this, when you present something to your users, it's something completely different than they like imagined. That's because you didn't contact them in the process. You just thought you know best what's the best for them, and it's not the case. We used to have the waterfall in the past, and projects were like that. So we gathered the requirements from the client, and at this point we stopped talking to them. We just focused on building the software and then presented that at the end, and we were like, ta-da, and they were like, no, it's not the case. It's not something we were expecting. And right now, because we are more agile and we actually have the contact with our customers, and we can work from scratch, prepare some simple versions, alpha, beta, and then we can present that to our power users and then gather feedback from them, and then go live with something like more mature and better quality. So it doesn't need to be the quality from day one, but rather aiming for the best quality at the day 100, or the final day that you go public with your full version. So that the first thing is to define the quality actually.
Thank you very much for defining the quality is the key message here when you're thinking about building your first software. We've got a question from Marianne Madera, and that's actually probably time to reveal yourself, Ola. What about your first software? What was it? Was it best quality?
No, it wasn't. And actually, that's probably the reason I'm in the software quality today as a programmer, because my job was to, like, it was a little bit related with creating software, meaning programming, but also I conducted some trainings for the professors because it was during university time. So it was extremely scary because they were my professors and I had like subjects with them, and then I needed to teach them how to use our software. And it was a shame when software didn't work properly. So I got the feedback and it was not nice. So at this point, I realized that it's very important to have good quality. And probably if this software was like perfect and polished to the max, and I didn't feel the shame at any point, probably I would just skip the topic and I would never be interested in like this particular topic in the software engineering. But everything happens for a reason, and probably that's why I'm here today with this topic.
And with me, so we are here today. Lovely to see our engaged community. Marianne, thank you very much for your question. Anna Dial is chipping in as well. Wherever in the world she is, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
about
I know, Anna.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Lots of kisses. YouTube.
Yes.
There you go, Ola. Not so sure about the quality of questions or comments, but We love every comment that we can see. So greetings to you, Anna. I just remember we talked about using GitHub and going back to the beginning, checking your codes, and I wonder whether you checked the code that you created all these years back, or you didn't really go back and it's like a unfinished product. I mean, you put it on the shelf and you don't want to have that cringe moment of, oh my goodness, did I really think that stupid?
Yeah, actually, it's a good sign, and I learned that during one of my great classes, that you are actually going to create crappy software. I mean, not crappy. It's going to be the best software you can create today, but tomorrow you're going to look at it and say, "Hey, who wrote that? Because it's crappy." And it's a good thing because you're like developing your skills, and it means that you're growing. Because if after 5 years you look at your old code and you say, this is nice code, it's probably something wrong with your like development as a software engineer. So it's actually something good. I sometimes go back to my projects on GitHub and with mixed feelings. It's not that I hate it. It's not that I love it. I just see some improvements that's gonna be made on this piece of software. So it's not that I feel ashamed or anything. I'm just aware that that was the best software I could create it then, and that's it. And it's fine that I learned something new, so I can improve. And if this project is not on the shelf, like you said, but I'm going to reuse it, then I probably make the changes and improvements and play with it.
So when the coding is either poorly done or has errors, what advice would you give to early adopter of software development?
Mm-hmm. So if your software is buggy or you feel that it's not good quality yet, then you can peer review it. So you can ask someone to look at it, give you some reviews, or you can ask if it's somewhere. I mean, it's an app or it's a website or it's an online service or whatever that can be accessed from the world. So it's not on your local machine. Then you can always ask someone to use it, some friend or coworker, or if you have a familiar tester, it would be best. I have many friends among testers, so I can always use them for that, and buy them coffee, or they just can like send me an invoice if it's a big job or something. But the second pair of eyes is always a good idea, because we are not perfect and we are not going to know everything at any point. So it's always good to like get the feedback from someone else.
So in terms of software, and I'm sorry, my headset is speaking to me in Chinese, so clearly I wasn't prepared for today's discussion on quality. So and maybe the headset quality is lacking there. So Ola, we talked about how important it is to have the network, and I think we are a prime example of networkers. We built the network for Giggers Carrots, Women in Technology. We will also facilitated local communities. I remember you were engaged speaking to Sydney, as far as I remember. I was also on the team trying to facilitate a network there. In terms of mentorship and somebody who can help you, who would you and how would you advise to approach people to be a mentor?
It's very hard actually, because first thing is that we think that we are not good enough to contact someone, for example. But on the other hand, if you write to people like from the top of tops, so some CEOs of big companies, probably they get thousands of these messages a day, so they won't reply to you. So the best way is to find someone like ahead of you, but not too far, for the like regular mentor, for a person who is gonna give you some advice career-wise in the next few months, for example. So it's the best when you get when you contact someone from your network, or 2 or 3 steps from your network, because it's realistic to get this person to schedule something in their busy schedules, and to make it happen, actually, to work with the mentor. There are some organizations, for example, I was a volunteer at the organization called Alumni Share Knowledge at my university. And it was great because first I used the network there as help. When I was a student, I had a couple of mentors, and I met them. They reviewed my my CV. They helped me prepare to interviews. But then I volunteered as an alumni to help others, and I like gave this good energy back. So probably at your university that you graduated from, or in your local community, or even at your company, probably there is some organization like that.
I also recommend checking our interview with Collie Hoey, who is expert in building a network. She wrote a book, she's the author of book Build Your Dream Network, and she gave a couple of hints and tips. We are going to post the link to the interview, so you can check it later on there. Some more tips on how to approach and make the best of your network. Ola, thank you very much for this advice, but let's go back to quality of software. The most common software errors arise because everyone is not on the same page. We talked about communication. What are the best practices to foster collaboration between team members?
It's a very tough question, actually, because every team is a little bit different. I would say like being honest is the number one. Not blaming anyone is something that's also very, very important. Being friendly to everyone else, like being happy with work they're doing, because sometimes we look at other people's software and we judge it, and sometimes we even judge the person who wrote it. And with this approach, the morale of the team will go down very fast, because there's always something that we can improve, and like giving and receiving feedback is very important. But on the other hand, it's not only the like constructive feedback that we want to share, it's also the positive one. So we know that we are doing good job, and there's only some things that are lacking, or that are not the best quality, that we should improve, because otherwise it's going to be like the feeling that we are not doing anything right. And this is actually the cause of burnout for many people, because in IT industry the pace is so fast and everything is changing constantly. And if you feel that you're not doing anything right and you're only making mistakes, then this burnout will come sooner than later to you. So this positive communication, but also sharing and receiving feedback, being honest, I think this is the good start to build good quality software with good quality teams.
Mm-hmm. So let's imagine the communication is there, the values that we are offering to your clients, everybody's on the same page, but then some things need to be changed because the quality is lacking. And change is a painful process, but change is inevitable for a software success. How to make sure your design and architectural framework is strong enough to bear possible changes in the future?
The roadmap is a very good idea. So if we want to prepare for everything that's going to happen in the future, we won't make a move and like any step forward, because we are going to think about anything bad that's going to happen or any other feature that will come in the future. We need to know the roadmap so we know what's going to be there in years, maybe in a couple of months, and what is crucial for the next weeks, and then we focus on the weeks. So if we have this view, this overview of the next months of this roadmap, then probably we will like think about it when we create the software, and then it's going to be easier to modify in the future. The change is like inevitable, like you said. It's going to be with us forever, so we better get used to it. I know that because I love change, and actually I'm if I lack change, I'm in very bad shape in company. I love companies that have this creative chaos, and I really love change. But I know it's not the case for everyone. So for some people who are really scared of the change, this roadmap will help them to prepare for the change, and it's not going to be like fast change or anything. If they as soon as they know it's going to happen, it's not change anymore, it's just a plan, right? So it's it helps you like put your priorities right, and it also gets you familiar with the change.
Perfect. What if your customer is building not the best quality software? How to steer your customer into the right path? And have you had any situation like that?
Here comes the negotiation skill, another soft skill that is necessary, and giving feedback, because we're not going to be like extremely positive when we are disappointed or when something goes wrong. We need to be honest. The team, if we have our own team, is the same. We need to be honest, but we need to if you want to give the feedback needs to be about the things that we create, so about the software, for example, or about the process or about the outcome, and not about the people. So this is the most important thing. So negotiation, if the customers misbehave somehow, the money is involved here in the process. So we need to be tough. We need to like negotiate contracts and everything, but also at any point we need to be like fair and give the feedback in a constructive way. And it can be really hard when emotions take over, when you feel like you're disappointed or something went wrong or someone stole something from you. Then you can be very angry, but we are adults here, and we need to behave like ones.
Hold on a second. Stealing quality software, has it happened to you?
But you mean the stealing quality from software? Or
From
stealing
you.
software?
You mentioned stealing, your customers stealing your data, or what did you mean by stealing?
So robbing you from the good quality software is also a stealing, because if someone promises you one thing and they don't deliver, it's a stealing of quality. Yeah, you name it right. I'm very much optimist. So even if I had something like that in the past, I don't really recall anything. But I knew many hard situations that we didn't handle well. That's why I'm saying that we need to be adults, because sometimes even if we as software engineers are specialists and we are adults, sometimes we behave like kindergarten kids. And in real business, it shouldn't happen, actually.
Mm. So but it all comes back to the user. The happier they are, the more popular your product becomes. How to keep your user happy?
Being transparent is very important, because even if you have some like failures, and you're transparent about that, and you say what happened, and you describe it somewhere on the blog, or as a video, or you broadcast the process of fixing something, that then your customers will believe you, probably, because you're transparent. And not everything customer says is gold, because sometimes you listen to the wrong like group of your customers. So the first important thing is to know who your customer really is. So have this persona of your perfect user who's gonna be with you for longer than for just like this week or this month. And if you know that, you can pick the right customers to interview, or to ask for help, or to give them some alpha versions of your software. So yeah, knowing who your perfect customer is, and looking for this among your clients, among your customers.
Okay. I've got a question. We've got a question from In Love and in Pain, our one of our greatest supporters. Still in love and in pain, even though we delivered so many positivity hacks with Ola today. Sitting with Ola Kunysz, who is the author of a quality software book. Hi, does a software used for hacking is considered a quality software?
Yeah, it's a meta level of software. It's just a tool, right? So you can use a tool to help someone, or you can use a tool to break something, and it's like your responsibility to use it right. But I know many. I'm not sure if we can even call them hackers. These are the people who find vulnerabilities of software, and they report it to the creators. They don't like blackmail or anything. They just look for that to make internet safer place. So this is like positive hacking, maybe, or something that that uses this kind of software, so hacking software. But it's a good thing that they do it, right? Because we get the safer web because of that. So developing any tool, I think it's neutral unless you have some plan in mind. But most of the tools that were used in a bad way, they were never created this way. They were just misused by the end users. Shouldn't we create software like that? I don't know. I think these are just the tools, and if one person don't create it, probably someone else will.
There will be buddies out there. Let's look into the most common mistakes, Ola. Do you know what are the most common, most often you can see mistakes in quality? What would you say are the 3 top ones?
Again, these are not technical, because libraries and frameworks don't spoil the software, we do. So the most common one is delivering something different than the customer expected. So not taking care of the requirements. Another one is connected, but is something different. It's about the usability. So we create the proper software that does the thing, but it's nightmare to use it. So this is also bad quality. And I think the third one connected with the diversity from different angles. So more and more we care about diverse users. So people who cannot see well or hear well, if they cannot use our software, it doesn't mean that our software is good quality. I don't think so. So like being open to everyone who's going to use our software, who wishes to use the software and uses it. This is also lacking in many software projects, I think. But fortunately, it's changing.
Mm. Good. So let's go into the most, the best advice you would give. 3 top things that you would use and focus on to deliver quality software.
Mm-hmm. 5. All right. So the first one is communication. I mean,
Yeah.
among the software team, positive, open, transparent communication. The second one is communication with the client. So gathering requirements, being transparent, listening to the end users. Third thing is let's go technical skills of the team. Even though we are not hiring the best people in the world, we should like every one of us should develop new skills and grow every day, because only this way we're gonna be like up to date and create good quality software. Having the good processes, the things that work we keep, and the things that don't we just get rid of. So we build our processes. I know that people who work in big companies, they are tired of processes, and probably they prefer not to have them. But working in small company, you really appreciate having processes, because everything is chaos, and at some point you start building these processes, and they should come from the team. They should come from us, and not being like given by the management or anything. They should be built by the team. And I think keeping the common values together. I know that it sounds a little bit like high level, but if we have the same version of software quality, or if we treat the customers with the same amount of respect and listen to them, it's gonna like put us on the same page. And if we know what we are talking about, it's gonna be easier to talk about it. So I made it. I made the top 5.
Mm. Thank you, Ola. We've got another question from In Love and in Pain, and we've got another question lined up. We are going to answer all, so chip in and enjoy a lively conversation with Ola Kunysz, author of Quality in Software. It's a book available in Polish, hopefully in English soon. Thanks. Another question: how to deal with bugs in software, Ola?
So bugs will always be there. So there is no such a thing as bug-free software, but we can and should limit amount of them. The good process of software engineering, of testing, quality assurance, being not only at the last step of software engineering, but through the whole process, from gathering requirements through software engineering to like delivering to customers. So we should keep like the quality in mind at the every step, and fixing them. So if we have a testing team, for example, if they find lots of bugs, then we should have some process to fix them on the daily basis, because sometimes we rush to deliver features, and programmers actually prefer that. No one likes fixing bugs. But if we have a lot of them, or we have more and more of them, in time, then we should stop and think what can be done to like improve our process of delivering data to avoid the bugs in the future, and finding these bugs. So having good like quality aware team, because most of the teams have testers, and that's really good thing, but some especially in small companies lack testers, any quality assurance people. Then software engineers who prepare the code should like take care of the quality by peer reviews, by testing own software, and by having someone from like the business layer to use our software, to have some friendly users who are going to share feedback with us. This will help finding and fixing the bugs.
Thank you, in love and in pain, for your excellent question. We've got another one from Anna. Your friend Ola is asking, what is the tool that helps you the most with achieving quality?
The tool. This is tough one. Anna is a tester, so she's probably more familiar with the tools.
Anna, if you have one, please chip in.
You can share.
No.
I think that the most helpful, like talking about overall software quality, is the good tool for tracking the progress, for tracking bugs, because sometimes we report bugs and they disappear because they are somewhere hidden and we don't have the full visibility of them. So I would say it's rather about the tool for like the management, the product management, than the tool that helps a single engineer. Yeah, I would say it's more on the team level.
Well, that gives me a leeway to ask you about the quality software of the future. Where do you see it is going towards? You mentioned that finance is more focused on security, users are focused on usability. Where do you see the world is going in terms of quality of software?
I think the whole IT industry go towards diversity, and I'm not only talking about people diversity, but also tools diversity, the software diversity, skills diversity, because not two projects are alike. So we should be like very specific about the client, as I said, about who's gonna use our software, and use unique tools to do that. It doesn't mean that the tools are going to be like very rare and we are going to look for the developers at the end of the world. It just means that the tool set will be very unique per product, per project. So that's why it's actually good news for everyone on the market, because every skill set is necessary then. It used to be that person went to university or to bootcamp and prepared just one line with the same tools, with the same libraries, learned that, and then landed a job. And it's not true anymore, at least from what I know from my friends and my students. Every company requires something else, or at least being familiar with the tooling, which means that we are going to look for something that is that we can uncover our superpowers there. So something that is good for us, and we can be good for that. And then probably there will be a company needing that specific tool set. So in this term, like the diversity and being flexible, changing the technologies, for example, this will happen for sure, because right now I can see that it doesn't really matter which language, for example, you start with, or which tools or frameworks you start with. Start somewhere, and then you're gonna change that anyway.
Mm. So it's not only front end, it's not only back end, it's full stack and whatever management
Yeah.
throws at you, is it?
Yeah, a little bit. So you need to be open to learn something needed for the company, but also you need to know what you're good at. Because if you're full stack, probably you won't be as good with the databases as with the CSS or some like typical front end stuff. You will know everything roughly, but you will specialize in one thing. But then if you go that way, you go it deeper, and you gather lots of skills there. So you are a specialist. Your skill set is necessary on the market, but then you're flexible and you can learn new things because all the tools are very similar to each other. So from one hand is like generalization, so you go wide, but on the other hand you specialize in some places, so you are unique on the market.
Uh, Thank you, Ola. You have to be flexible. You have to everlasting learn. And Ola, I see that you're now in education online. You expanded your skill set. Is this your new career path?
Mm. So I started School of Tests. This is like translated name of my company, of my brand, 2 years ago, and I conducted some trainings. I prepared online courses, and I actually very much enjoy it. But it's not something I could do for forever because I really enjoy software engineering. So I will probably continue online education, but what it gave me is the whole skill set around marketing, sales, preparing content, sharing knowledge, and thousands other skills. But I don't think I'm gonna be like master of online courses forever. So I a little bit miss software engineering, so that's why I'm here involved with the startup now.
So tell me about your startup. I mean, you've been employed a couple of months back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mostly do software engineering, but since we are a small team, we do everything that's necessary, and I absolutely love it because like I mentioned, I like change and I like the chaotic world of startups. It's a financial industry. I cannot tell you much more right now at this point, but mm, it's financial world, so it's a little bit different than e-commerce that I used to work in previously. The quality changes, the definition of good quality software changed, and it's something new for me. I used to work in a financial world a couple of years back, but it was something a little bit different, so that's also new for me, and I enjoy it a lot.
Mm. So, why do you think your book made it to the top of technical bestsellers? What is that secret sauce?
The community probably. So people who enjoyed my webinars, my content, my blog, my YouTube channel probably helped with that. And this is something that is going to be more and more popular. I mean, the quality of software. It's not the big deal to create any software right now, but creating good quality software is really something.
Mm. So, that's another question that we like to talk. I mean, we as women in tech, or the unicorns of technology. I mean, unicorns in a way that we are so rare. It's difficult to find us. We need to build our brand, and would be the key takeaways from building your personal brand, Ola?
Mm, you know, this guy who says just do it. this is this is something that was with me for many months when I was working on my own brand. um, I was just doing what was necessary. I created lots of content, and I enjoyed it a lot. I had my habits, and that was it. There is no magic bullet, and if you want to create your brand, then create your brand. I mean, it's going to be your, and it's going to be brand. So branding is about showing your work, sharing your content, sharing your knowledge somewhere. It can be stage, it can be local community, it can be the book, it can be the blog, it can be YouTube channel, it can be TikTok, even whatever you think it's your best way of like building your brand, because it's going to be unique for you. And once I had an interview and I said that like creating lots of content is the most important or something. Maybe I didn't use the exactly specific word, but someone said, hey, but I prefer like organizing local community meetups. And I was like, fine, do it, whatever makes you happy and whatever like brings you to the arena and shows your work to the people. It's gonna be your brand and not someone else's.
Yeah, you've got unique opportunity to show yourself to the audience, just like Ola did today. We are calling also other speakers, whoever would want to appear on the show. I think we've got a slot sometime next year. That shows how popular we are and how many of our unicorns are there. Sadly, not many of us are making it to the top. So, Ola, what would be your key strategy? How to make it to the C-suite, C-level of companies?
I don't know that yet. so maybe I'm not the best person to ask that. But I think if it's something that it's important for you, um, just one step at a time. So you're not going to be there in a year probably, uh, but in 5 years, who knows? And then think about what's necessary for you. So find the right mentor and let this person lead you a little bit. Ask for advice. Read books of people who made it to the top, and prepare to like hard work for working hard, because it's not magic to be there probably. From my experience in IT industry, everything is possible. Really, it's a very young industry with people who are not spoiled. There are no clusters or anything like that. Everything depends on your skill set, and if you're a specialist, then dive deeply into what your specialty is. If you want to be a leader, then show your skills. It doesn't need to be company from day one. It can be local community, it can be pro bono work. Just show that you can do it. Read some books, or do the courses. Ask people who do that better than you and learn from them. And yeah, make your way. Prepare like
So, Ola, who
the
was
goal.
your
Yeah.
mentor? I mean, I'm very curious who, because none of us are able to achieve great things on day one. I was there, I was CEO as soon as I finished university, said no one ever. So, what is your key strategy? Who helped you along the way? Who are you grateful to?
There were many people actually. During my university times, I tried to reach to people from big corporates, but not the C level. Rather, some managers, and gathering information from them, or who they are looking for, what's important in candidates, because I was preparing to look for jobs. So that was number one priority for me. Asking people from the industry, from who have the experience that you want to have. This is the most important thing. One person that had huge influence on my career path probably was my current boss, I can say, Dominic, who actually pushed me into programming because I used to be a technical consultant. So it's a little bit programming, but a little bit working with a client. It's not so technical. And I was wondering if I should go back to programming after working as a consultant. And I thought I'm too old for a career change. And I was like 25. So he said, if you want to do the programming, just do it. And I did, and here we are. So currently our paths crossed again. So one more time about networking, and right now we work together. So who knows where it will lead us? And yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yes, you mentioned opportunities. You mentioned the fact that it was actually the publisher who approached you. But also, I think it's important to mention that opportunities are like a bus. There always will be a next one. Thank you, Dominic, for supporting Ola. Thank you, Ola, for supporting Olga Vesina, who's supporting us as well. Fabulous show tonight. Really enjoying listening to Ola's QA approach. We've got to announce the next speech, which is happening next week. This is actually a pre-recorded interview with Dr. Kalin Jakubowska, making a difference with a passion. So we are going to look for a purpose. We are going to look for value, how to deliver, how to find your value. Ola, before we convene, before I say all the thank you notes, we need to go quickly. What is the number one book you can sit and think, oh, I wish I read it before I started my career? And it cannot be yours, right?
No, I couldn't read it. I think Atomic Habits is the number one book because I was always told that it's all about the goals, and I'm really bad with goals. I mean, sure, I can plan something for 5-10 years ahead, but like tracking these goals on a daily basis was a nightmare for me because I was always disappointed with the place I'm in. And when I discovered Atomic Habits, I realized that I don't need to. I just need to take care of the systems, like on a daily basis, small habits that gonna take me to my goals, and I don't need to like track goals anymore. And it sounds similar, but it's like the fundamental difference on the from the process perspective. So I'm more like a process person and less like a goal-oriented person. So if you are like me, Atomic Habits is a must read, and I wish I knew it earlier in my life.
And also, quality book by Ola is critical when you are building quality software, quality life, I guess. Ola, can you give us your life lesson quote and how did it change you?
If I think about, because there are many quotes that were with me during my life, but I think most of them come from Brené Brown. I absolutely love her. I really recommend watching her TED and read her books. And Brené says that there is no innovation or creativity without failure. And this is so true for software development, and this is so true for many other fields, for building your brand or for creating your content. You're gonna fail, and the sooner you realize it and you're gonna be okay with that, the sooner your content or your brand or anything else you're producing will be amazing. Because step by step, one step at a time, you're gonna make it to the almost perfection. but the case with perfectionism is that you're not actually doing things perfect. You just don't do anything because you're waiting for this perfection to come. And this is really bad for any process. And Gary Vee is probably the king of lack of perfectionism and delivering everyday content, and I'm a big fan of his as well.
So let's dive into the startup mantra. Done is better than perfect. Ola, let's go into our favorite question. Imagine the pandemic is over and you can invite any person in the world to have private breakfast anywhere in the world. Who would you invite and where would you go to?
I think it would be Brent Brown. Definitely. I would love to talk to her like in person in some cozy cafe in Scotland or Icelandic, or I don't know, Denmark maybe. Some cozy place. We would drink some coffee and talk about vulnerability and the power of that.
Can you tell us a little bit more about her?
So she's her most probably famous book is The Power of Vulnerability, which is about going to the arena with all you have and being open for the outcome, and don't care so much about other people who are going to criticize you. So she's an author of many books. She's a business person, so she owns some companies right now. She also conducted trainings. She gives speeches, so she's really a power person, and I think she would be the perfect companion for the cafe, the breakfast with coffee and lots of discussions. Yeah.
Ola, I wish you great success and having that breakfast with her, whether it's Denmark, whether it's Iceland, wherever you would like to go. I suggest you start building your network. I would be happy to help you achieve that. So small things lead to big accomplishments. That's definitely a message from today's lesson with Ola on quality software. And again, positivity hack delivered today, as always, comes from positive thinking only and goes, look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to look a little harder. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude, as Maya Angelou said. And today is your day to hack the future. Hack the positivity you want. Ola, thank you very much. Thank you very much as well to Anna. Thank you to In Love and in Pain, Marianne Madera, and Olga Vasina. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hack the future.
Thank